Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our weekly Bible study.
Bonsoir tout le monde et nous souhaitons la bienvenue dans l'étude biblique hebdomadaire nous.
As always, we're very happy that you've taken the time to join us today.
Comme d'habitude, nous extrêmement contents de ce que vous prenez le temps pour joindre avec nous à soir.
We are continuing with our study of the book of Esther.
Nous avons continué dans l'étude livre Esther.
And we are diving really deep into the lessons that we can take from every chapter of the book.
Et nous avons entré très profondément dans le leçon nous qu'a tiré de chaque chapitre.
As always, as we have been doing lately, we want to encourage everyone to really participate in answering the questions that will be asked throughout the lesson.
Comme nous avons motivé depuis environ quelques semaines, essayez de participer avec nous dans toute question qui a posée.
It's probably a good idea for you to take notes throughout the lesson to the details that are given throughout the study.
C'est une bonne idée pour prendre note de tout détail que nous avons procuré pendant l'étude ça.
So that you'll be ready to answer questions whenever they're asked.
De façon pour qu'à préparer pour répondre aux questions quel que soit l'heure que nous posons.
We are taking notes of everyone who is answering questions correctly, and at the end of this study, we are going to have 3 grand prize winners.
Nous avons un record de monde qui répond aux questions yo commodément et dans fin étude ça n'a pas 3 primes qui extrêmement alléchantes.
Aside from that contest, we always encourage you to put any questions or comments that you have in the chat, whether on YouTube or on Facebook.
À part de contest là, n'a demandé pour toujours continuer à poser questions ou dans YouTube ou bien dans Facebook.
We'd love to hear what you have to say.
Nous t'a remen gagner input dans et ça qu'a dit.
We'll get right into it. I'll go ahead and pray us in and we'll begin the study.
Nous pourrons entrer directement dans l'étude là, m'a prier pour nous ensuite n'a entrer dans l'étude là.
Thank you, Lord Heavenly Father, for getting all of us here safely today.
Merci papa nous qui nous là de ce que vous permettre que nous toutes vivons en sécurité à soi.
Thank you for letting us have a blessed, safe week that we were able to get through safely.
Merci de ce que tu permets nous de une semaine côté pas gain mal qui est arrivé nous vinn là à soi en bien.
We thank you that you've given us the strength to come here and the desire to dive deeper into your word.
Nous remercions de ce que permet de venir à soi et de ce que nous désire pour entrer profondément dans l'étude parole.
We pray for Pastor Jacob Amazone that will be leading us through the study today.
Nous prions pour Pasteur Jacob avec Maestro René qui va entrer avec nous dans l'étude à soi.
And we thank that you for giving us these 2 men of God who are willing to put in the work to teach us your word.
Et nous remercions pour 2 hommes de Dieu ça qui décident pour faire travail qui est nécessaire pour apprendre nos paroles.
I pray that you can bless the people that are listening and watching this lesson and that they can really take something from the study.
Nous prions que tu as béni tout le monde qui a participé à l'étude ça de façon pour tirer un bagage qui spécial dans l'étude ça.
And that they can take whatever lessons they learn and use them in their own lives.
Pour tirer le son qui est nécessaire pour la vie pour appliquer.
We thank you in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Nous remercions, nous prions au nom de Jésus.
All right, on to you, Pastor Jake.
Okay, thank you, Sister Camille and Maestro René for the introduction.
Merci, Sœur Camille, avec Maestro René pour l'introduction, ça.
We're gonna go right into the Bible study today.
Nous allons entrer directement dans l'étude biblique nous à soi.
Last week we didn't have that much time.
Semaine passée, nous pas gagné assez de temps.
Because we had another program right after.
Parce que nous avons un programme qui était entré dans l'étude biblique là.
But this time we have a little bit more time to go deeper into the topic here, into the discussion.
À soi, nous gagnons beaucoup plus de temps pour nous entrer directement dans le topic ça.
At the same time, I want to remind you, continue to prepare yourself for the contest that we're doing.
Nous t'avons préparé ou dit ou préparé pour entrer dans le contest que nous avons fait.
Because there is a reward at the end of the contest.
Parce qu'il y a une récompense, il y a une prime dans la fin de l'étude là.
So not only we have spiritual reward, but also we have monetary, financial reward.
Non seulement qu'il y a une récompense spirituelle, mais également une récompense matérielle, récompense monétaire.
Because we know the first prize is going to go home with a Visa card of $500.
Parce que nous connaissons monde qui gagne première prime dans pral la caler avec une carte Visa de $500.
The second will go 300.
Deuxième pral la caler avec $300
And the third will go 200.
et troisième pral avec $200.
Because this book has 10 chapters,
Parce que le livre ça il y a 10 chapitres.
we may contemplate after I talk to the team to have a midterm and a final.
Nous avons contemplé après nous fin parler avec l'équipe là pour nous gagner on sorte de test dans mi-temps étude là et on teste après étude là fini.
So again, those questions that we are asking now, even though you are accumulating points, they may come back in the midterm and final.
Encore une fois, question que nous avons posée là, malgré que nous déjà posé déjà, mais nous avons retourné encore dans le test que nous avons fait dans mi-temps étude là et dans le test que nous avons fait dans fin étude là.
Because those things can give you more points to continue in your battle to win the contest.
Parce que la question, ça permet que vous accumuler plus de points toujours pour gagner contest là.
So again, continue to prepare yourself and know the book because that's what we want. We want you to know the book.
Continuez à préparer tête et connaître le livre là parce que c'est exactement ça objectif nous pour connaître le livre là.
Okay, now with the topic for today, we're going to go to still Esther chapter 2.
Pour topic nous aujourd'hui, nous parlons exactement encore une fois dans Esther chapitre 2.
Because we already did chapter 1 in the beginning of chapter 2.
Parce que nous sommes déjà allé dans chapitre 1 et nous avons commencé chapitre 2.
So now we're going to go with you to the chapter 2 verse 12.
Nous allons commencer dans chapitre 2 verset 12.
And then the questions, the topic of discussion for today.
Et topic de discussion pour asseoir.
When your time comes to be a Cinderella, God will prepare the setting.
C'est le temps arrivé pour qu'en Cinderella, bon Dieu a préparé environnement.
Do we need to use the secular means to make a first impression?
Est-ce que nous obligés d'utiliser moyens séculiers pour nous faire une première impression?
Those are what we're going to go through today for the next hour.
Donc, c'est deux topics ça, que nous allons parler pendant quelques heures de temps qui étaient là.
The scripture reading that we have is Esther chapter 2, verse 12 to 14.
Lecture nous c'est Esther chapitre 2, les versets 12 à 14.
It says, before a young woman's turn came to go into King Xerxes, she had to complete 12 months of beauty treatments prescribed for the women and 6 months with oil of myrrh and 6 months with perfumes and cosmetics. And this is how she should go to the king. Anything she wanted was given to her to take with her from the harem to the king's palace. And in the evening, she will go there. And in the morning, she returned to another part of the harem to the care of Shashgaz, the king's eunuch, who was in charge of the concubines. She will not return to the king unless he was pleased with her and summoned her by name. Maestro.
Il dit, chaque jeune fille allait à son tour vers le roi Assuérus, après avoir employé 12 mois à s'acquitter de ce qui était prescrit aux femmes. Pendant ce temps, elles prenaient soin de leur toilette, 6 mois avec de l'huile de myrrhe et 6 mois avec des aromates et des parfums en usage parmi les femmes. C'est ainsi que chaque jeune fille allait vers le roi. Et quand elle passait de la maison des femmes dans la maison du roi, on lui laissait prendre avec elle tout ce qu'elle voulait. Elle y allait le soir et le lendemain matin, elle passait dans la seconde maison des femmes sous la surveillance de Shashgaz, eunuque du roi et gardien des concubines. Elle ne retournait plus vers le roi, à moins que le roi n'en eût le désir et qu'elle ne fût appelée par son nom.
Thank you, Maestro René, for that scripture reading that you did for us.
Merci, Maestro René, pour lecture ça fait pour nous.
Right before we get into this chapter here, I want to put you in the setting of what's going on.
Juste avant que nous entrions dans l'étude, ça me donne me situer où pour ça va passer.
The first time that we touch on the first topic that we took with you.
Premier topic nous t'ai étudié avec vous.
We said sometimes being good is not good enough.
Nous dit que des fois même le bon, il pas bon assez, il pas assez.
Because we saw a drunkard's king, King Xerxes.
Parce que nous te voyons que un roi qui était ivre, qui était toujours absous, un roi Xerxes.
He made a special invitation to his queen.
Il t'a fait une invitation spéciale avec reine ni.
And his queen's name was Vashti.
Et non reine ça a été Vasti.
But the king asked the queen to come in and parade herself around to his friends.
Roi ça a demandé reine pour te venir parader devant ni.
So it looks like the king was trying to create a strip club where the queen comes and dance, kind of form of a naked dancing to his friends.
Il semblait que roi ça t'a fait une sorte de bagay gogo girl côté reine t'a venu danser nu devant un roi avec zamini.
So again, the king wanted to parade the beauty of King Vashti.
Roi a besoin que Vasti vienne parader beauté li devant zamini.
But the queen says, not me, I will not allow anyone to humiliate me in such a way.
Mais reine nan dit non, moi pas permettre quelqu'un moun humilier de façon comme ça.
And the whole book starts in that scene right there.
Et c'est scène ça qui commence le livre là.
And so we covered that. You can go back to that Bible study 3 weeks ago and pick that up so you can follow along with us.
Nous découvrir ça sous besoin de plus d'informations, mais dans l'étude biblique ça que nous découvrir 3 semaines de cela.
It was a very interesting study, the chapter 1 of the book.
C'était une étude qui était très intéressant, nous t'ai étudié partie ça.
I am sure that we took a direction with Queen Vashti that you never heard before.
Moi sûr que nous te prenons en direction avec reine Vasti que pas jamais entendu auparavant.
The second topic was, are you living God's purpose for your life?
Deuxième topic là c'est est-ce que vous vivez objectif bon Dieu pour la vie ou?
And we said when God is with you, he will make a way where there is no way.
Dis le bon Dieu avec ou la faire route côté qui pas une route.
That's the God we're serving.
C'est bon Dieu ça que l'a servi.
When you are living according to his purpose,
le vivre selon objectif pour la vie ou?
He will go beyond your expectations.
Il pourrait aller au-delà même de expectations.
Because he will make a way where there is no way.
Parce que là fait route côté pas une route.
Miracles will happen when God is with you.
Grand pile miracle a fait le bon Dieu avec vous.
Esther accepted to dream big.
Esther t'a accepté pour te rêver un bail qui grand.
Not only she was dreaming big, but she accepted to dream the impossible.
Non seulement qu'elle t'a accepté pour rêver grand, mais elle t'a accepté pour rêver même bail qui impossible.
So it looks like Esther is teaching us a lesson, Maestro, to expand our mind when we talk about God.
Donc il semble que Esther apprend nous leçon la maestro pour nous ouvrir l'esprit nous parler de mon Dieu.
Because sometimes in church we become too conservative in our vision, in our dreams, in our objectives.
Parce que des fois dans l'église nous on est trop conservatif dans rêve nous dans vision dans objectif nous.
We are afraid to take risks.
Nous très peur pour nous prendre risque.
So it looks like Esther dreamed the impossible.
Il semble que Esther t'a rêvé l'impossible.
In a secular language, she took her chances.
Non, on langage pour nous utiliser un langage séculier, il prend chance li.
In a secular language, she was lucky.
Non, on langage séculier, son monde qui était chanceuse.
But in a biblical language, God was with her.
Mais si on a parlé d'un langage biblique, bon Dieu était avec lui.
Because she knew her God was with her, she was willing to dream the impossible.
Parce que connaît que bon Dieu avec lui, il t'a accepté pour te rêver un bail qui est impossible.
Because she knew she's serving a God of the impossible.
Parce que connaît t'a servi le Dieu de l'impossible.
And then the text told us that Esther pleases everyone who saw her.
Et le texte là dit nous que Esther était réellement une faveur tout le monde qui était ouali.
They said Haggai was the king's eunuch. You know, Esther found favor in his eyes immediately.
Dieu dit Haggai qui était en chef, toutes les dames ça qui était eunuque ça qui était en chef de eux-mêmes, lui jouait une faveur avec ça immédiatement.
Right, listen, I know for the sake of time, I will continue with today's topic, which is when your times come to be a Cinderella, God will prepare the settings.
Pour nous qu'à économiser notre temps, nous allons entrer directement dans l'étude de aujourd'hui qui dit l'heure arrivée pour on scène de là, bon Dieu a préparé environnement pour nous-mêmes.
All right, so again, that's today's topic.
C'est topic que nous avons aujourd'hui.
Do we need to use the secular means to make a first impression?
Est-ce que nous obligés d'utiliser moyens séculiers pour nous faire une première impression?
So those of you that are listening right now, I hope you'll start to prepare your questions.
Nous-mêmes qu'attendez qu'on y a l'âme souhaité qu'on commence à préparer questions nous.
We need to hear them. We need you to get into the dialogue of this discussion with us.
Besoin tendre, besoin commencer entrer dans dialogue ça.
So start preparing your questions on Facebook or YouTube.
Commencez à préparer questions dans Facebook ou bien YouTube.
What the questions I am asking right now to boost your thinking.
Question m'a posé qu'on y a là pour stimuler penser ou.
How are we patient enough to allow God to prepare the settings or the atmosphere for us?
Est-ce que nous patients assez pour nous permettre que bon Dieu prépare environnement bien atmosphère là pour nous-mêmes?
Do we create the mood? Do we allow the God to create it for us?
Est-ce que nous avons créé état de pensée, nous avons créé environnement atmosphère là? Ou est-ce que nous permettre que c'est bon Dieu qui crée pour nous-mêmes?
Because I know we use so many secular means to create the mood.
Parce que nous utilisons un paquet de moyens séculiers pour nous créer environnement.
We use decorations, we use lights, we use cloths, we use candles.
Nous utilisons décoration, nous utilisons bougies, nous utilisons un paquet de bagages pour nous créer ambiance là.
We use flowers.
Nous utilisons fleurs.
We use cards.
Nous utilisons cartes.
We use poems.
Nous utilisons poèmes.
Do we create the mood or do we allow God to create the mood for us?
Est-ce que nous avons créé ambiance là ou bien nous permettre que c'est bon Dieu qui crée pour nous-mêmes?
Are we patient enough to allow God to create the setting, to prepare the setting for us?
Est-ce que nous patients assez pour nous permettre que bon Dieu prépare environnement pour nous-mêmes?
So again, start thinking about this one. So that's on you now.
Nous avons vraiment commencé à penser sur ça parce que ça n'a même pas là.
Here's my questions for discussion.
Mes questions pour discussion.
How much care should a Christian give?
Qui va le soin que un chrétien doit supposé bailler?
Or how much attention should a Christian pay?
Ou bien qui va le attention que un chrétien doit supposé bailler
on the outward beauty?
À beauté extérieure.
That's a good one, right, Maestro?
Yes, it is.
How much care should a Christian give, or how much attention should a Christian pay on the outward beauty?
Qui va le soin ou bien qui va le attention qu'un chrétien t'a supposé bailler sous beauté extérieure? We're gonna need Cammy's input on this one.
We're gonna need Cammy's input, not yet, but we're gonna need Cammy later on. I hope Cammy's taking note, and I hope everybody else that's on Facebook and YouTube right now is taking notes on that one and start giving us their input.
Nous t'a souhaité que tout le monde sur Facebook et YouTube commence à prendre note sur question ça et commence à bailler opinion yo.
All right, let's go to verse 12 here.
Dans le verset 12.
Verse 12 says, before a young woman's turn came to go into the king's Xerxes, she had to complete 12 months of beauty treatment prescribed for the women, 6 months with oil of myrrh and 6 months with perfumes and cosmetics.
Chaque jeune fille allait à son tour vers le roi Assuérus, après avoir employé 12 mois à s'acquitter de ce qui était prescrit aux femmes. Pendant ce temps, elles prenaient soin de leur toilette 6 mois avec de l'huile de myrrhe et 6 mois avec des aromates et des parfums en usage parmi les femmes.
So this is what the text is giving to us here.
C'est ça, texte là-bas nous là.
There's a serious prescription.
Une prescription qui est extrêmement sérieux là.
And they are very rigid in that prescription.
Il est réellement rigide dans la prescription ça.
They do not allow you to come close to the king unless you follow that treatment here.
Il ne pas permettre que même approcher de roi tout autant que vous pouvez suivre traitement ça.
In 12 months, not 12 days, not 12 weeks, 12 months.
C'est pas 12 jours ni 12 semaines, c'est 12 mois.
Between a whole year of treatment.
Ça veut dire une année complète de traitement.
Wow. I wonder why all that time. What's going on here?
Pour qui ça tout le temps ça?
All right. When God prepares the setting, he sometimes allows us to use the secular means to make a first impression.
Le bon Dieu préparer environnement, des fois, le permettre que ou utiliser moyens séculiers pour qu'à faire une première impression.
So again, when God prepares the setting, he allows us sometimes to use secular means to make a first impression. That's what's happening with Esther.
Le bon Dieu préparer environnement, des fois, le permettre que utiliser moyens séculiers pour qu'à faire une première impression.
Because again, there's a secular means that is being used here, 6 months of treatment with myrrh oil and 6 months of treatment with perfumes and cosmetics.
Il y a un bagage séculier, moyen séculier qui est utilisé là pour faire 6 mois traitement avec l'huile de myrrhe, avec 6 mois avec aromates et parfums.
So there's something being done to transform Esther here.
Il y a un bagage spécial, un traitement spécial qui est utilisé pour transformer Esther.
Because they're trying to eliminate those rough edges.
Parce que c'est éliminer toutes ces bagages, toutes ces imperfections.
They're trying to make her, make her very presentable in a special way.
Très présentable, très impressionnante.
She's preparing to make a first impression.
Il a préparé pour qu'elle fasse une première impression sur roi.
Again, the 12-month preparation for the beauty pageant.
C'est 12 mois de préparation pour contest de beauté, ça.
So again, I'm using beauty pageant.
Encore une fois, je vais utiliser le mot contest de beauté, ça.
So it is very important that you take notes on this.
C'est réellement important pour prendre note de ça.
So you don't compare your situation with fully with the situation of Esther.
Pour pas comparer situation avec situation Esther.
Because it's a different time zone, different culture, different epoch.
Parce que c'est une époque différente, une culture différente, un temps différent.
Esther had to, in order for her to become a Cinderella, she had to go to a beauty pageant.
Pour le temps qu'à venir Cinderella, elle était obligée à un concours de beauté.
So again, that's part of our questions. Do we have to prepare ourselves for a beauty pageant like Esther did?
Et ces questions ça que nous posons, est-ce que nous sommes obligés de préparer tête, nous qu'à préparer tête nous pour concours de beauté même Jean Esther a fait?
Is there something not spiritual about that, or is there something spiritual about it?
Est-ce que son bagage pour soit le concours de beauté son bagage qui pas spirituel ou bien est-ce que son bagage qui spirituel?
So that's something for you to judge and talk to me about here.
C'est un bagage pour juger de lui-même et pour discuter ça avec moi.
So again, questions. I'm going to continue to ask questions tonight.
On va continuer à poser questions à soi.
What are the beauty benefits of using myrrh oil here?
C'est qui bénéfice qui gagne pour beauté en monde leur utiliser l'huile de myrrhe?
Because if they went 6 months giving her treatment of that myrrh oil, what are the benefits?
Parce que si on passe 6 mois pour bal et produits cosmétiques ça pour préparer le visage li, qui qualité bénéfice que tu as tiré de ça?
So after 6 months of myrrh oil,
après 6 mois de traitement avec l'huile de myrrhe,
and they spent another 6 months with perfume and cosmetics products.
Ils ont utilisé un autre 6 mois pour utiliser produits de beauté, produits cosmétiques avec parfum.
What kind of cosmetics that were used in the second half of the year of the preparation?
Qui qualité produits cosmétiques qui ont été utilisés dans la seconde partie de l'année?
You guys will have to share some of those with me, if you can imagine with me, because we don't have the documents, but we can imagine what kind of cosmetic things that were being used there.
Bien que nous n'avons pas d'informations sur ça, même carrément imaginer avec moi qui qualité produits cosmétiques qui ont été utilisés pour embellir Esther.
Again, the use of fashion clothing, makeups, hair, jewelry, all that stuff was being there.
Utilisation de radis à la mode, utilisation de maquillage et chevelure avec bijoux, tout bagage ça a été utilisé.
So Esther received 12-month treatment to make a first impression to the king.
Donc, Esther a utilisé 12 mois de traitement pour le faire une première impression sur le roi.
So, what are some of the benefits of the myrrh oil?
Mais quelques bénéfices de l'huile de myrrhe.
I'm going to give you at least 6 of them.
On va avoir au moins 6 bénéfices de l'huile de myrrhe.
When we do a little research from the Egyptian time and before,
Là, nous faisons quelques recherches sur le temps égyptien, ou bien même temps qui précédait égyptien,
and continue all the way to the Medes and Persians time in the time of Esther.
Et nous continuons jusqu'à temps des Mèdes et des Perses pour arriver dans le temps Esther là.
They used to use myrrh oil a great deal as a product of beauty.
Ils ont utilisé l'huile de myrrhe en pile comme un produit de beauté.
It was very common in the household.
Son bagage qui était réellement commun là avec tout le monde.
Again, this will help us understand why the 3 kings that came to see Jesus Christ had to bring myrrh as one of their gifts.
Ça faut comprendre, ça fait 3 rois mages qui étaient venus voir Jésus-Christ, ils ont porté l'huile de myrrhe pour lui-même.
And they said myrrh kills even harmful bacteria in the body.
Yo dit myrrhe, l'huile de myrrhe li détruit bactéries qui nuisibles dans le corps humain.
They said not only used for humans, but also the Egyptians use it to even embalm mummies because of the smell, the good smell, and the way it is to help protect the body.
Yo dit non seulement que yo te utilisé li pour te et détruire toute qualité bactéries qui nuisibles, mais les Égyptiens ont utilisé également pour être embaumé comme on embaumé momie.
They said when you use it to embalm the dead, not only kill all the bacteria that are left in the body, but it gives it a good smell for a long time.
Yo dit l'on utilise dans corps et en monde qui mourit, non seulement li kembe corps et li protéger li, mais li détruit tout les mauvais sang corps ça te kabay.
They even use it sometimes to get a mixture with frankincense and the myrrh together.
Il y a des fois qu'on mettait encens, on font une sorte de mélange de encens avec l'huile de myrrhe ensemble.
This is why it's so precious when they had to bring it as gifts for the king, for Jesus, when he was born.
Et ça fait son cadeau qui était extrêmement précieux là pour Jésus-Christ.
Again, even though the myrrh oil symbolizes his body that will be embalmed when he goes on the cross for us.
Mais bien que l'huile de myrrhe a symbolisé corps qui après aller sur la croix pour nous-mêmes, qui va mourir sur la croix pour nous-mêmes.
The second benefit of myrrh oil, it supports oral health.
Deuxième bénéfice de l'huile de myrrhe, lui supporter et santé dans la bouche.
So if you have bad breath or you have bad smell coming out of your mouth, you have infections, it can help treat those problems.
Si vous avez mauvaise haleine ou bien vous avez mauvais sang qui sorti dans la bouche, là utiliser l'huile de myrrhe la peut détruire sans ça.
They said it treats all infections and inflammation.
Li traiter infection orale, infection dans la bouche avec inflammation.
Third thing we found, they said it supports the skin health.
Troisième bagage bénéfice nous joint de l'huile de myrrhe, c'est que li protège le Québec corps ou en santé.
They said it heals where there are sores.
Et li traite côté qui conseille de boutons et de malin.
It treats the skin wounds and infections.
Li traite toute blessure qui gagne dans peau avec infection.
So this is why those women that were out there in the world, when before they bring them to the king, they had to use that oil to soften their skin.
Et ça fait toute femme ça qui est venue, tout contestant qui est venu ça yo avant de le faire il était obligé d'utiliser l'huile ça pour être sûr que il était fait pour il était venu sans tache pour être adouci.
They clean all the diseases, all the bacteria that was in the body. They prepare them and treat them to make them kind of perfect before they even present themselves to the king.
Tuer toute bactérie, toute vieille maladie qui était dans le corps avec les traitements ça pour être sûr que avant le roi était une peau qui parfaite.
There are 3 more benefits.
Il y a trois bénéfices en plus encore.
They said the myrrh oil even have you can take it as a painkiller. It combats pain and the swelling of the body.
Je dis, l'huile de myrrhe, tu quand même prendre comme un analgésique qui pour éliminer peine dans le corps, pour qui éliminer le corps enflé, il éliminer toute bagage dans le corps.
They use it for headache.
Tu utilises pour tête fait mal.
They use it for joint pain.
Tu utilises pour peine dans jointure yo.
And they use it for back pain.
Tu utilises pour peine dans dos.
So I can see those sports guys can even use it for massage where people are being hurt when they playing games.
Donc nous quand même qui joue sport était qu'à utiliser l'huile de myrrhe leur prend choc dans match de façon pour qu'à adoucir peine yo.
So and then the fifth thing, it was a powerful antioxidant.
Et cinquième bénéfice de ça, c'est que l'huile de myrrhe là, elle est un antioxydant qui est réellement très puissant.
They said it fights oxidative damage from the free radicals that cause aging and other diseases in the body.
Ils sont utilisés pour éviter dommages qui causent dans le corps avec l'âge, avec les maladies.
So again, all those wrinkles, maybe Maestro on my face, maybe I can use that oil to clear them up, Maestro. What you think?
Toute qualité et bagay ça yo moi gagné pli moi gagné figure yo peut-être qu'a utiliser pour détruire on sait de toutes les qualités pli ça.
The last thing. The last thing they said, it kills some of the parasites in the body.
Et sixièmement, il dit que l'huile de myrrhe li détruit un paquet de parasites dans le corps moun.
And as you know, we are very used to this when we were in Haiti to see all those worms and those parasites inside people's bodies.
Comme nous connaissons en Haïti, nous habitués avec ça, nous connaissons un paquet de corps moun qui gagne parasites, qui ont un paquet de vers en dedans yo.
It's because of the bacteria and all those bacteria that's built up, yes.
C'est à cause de bactéries qui commencent à bâtir dans le corps moun yo.
But the 6 months of treatment with that oil, they said, can even destroy, eliminate all those worm parasites that are in the body.
Je dis 6 mois de traitement, ça li détruit, li touye toute qualité parasite qui dans le corps moun.
They said we can be infected with those parasites from pets, from sexual activities, from contaminated food and water.
Je dis parasite c'est qu'à venir de animal que nous avons à nous, de chat, de chien, etc. Nous quand même prendre dans activité sexuelle ou bien dans manger avec de l'eau qui est contaminée.
So we know those ladies did not have sexual activities because they were all virgin, but they can get it from their pets, from their food, and from the water.
Nous connaissons dames ça ou pas qu'à prendre de activité sexuelle parce que toutes ces vierges tayées, mais tu qu'à prendre dans manger ou bien dans de l'eau qui est contaminée ou bien dans jouer avec bête la caillou.
So again, at least we see 6 benefits of myrrh oil.
Mais au moins nous avons au moins 6 bénéfices de utilisation de l'huile de myrrhe.
It kills harmful bacteria.
Il tue les bactéries qui nuisibles.
It supports your oral health.
Il supporte santé orale.
It supports skin health and help heal sores.
Supporter santé dans la peau et l'aider pour guérir toute qualité blessure dans le corps.
It combats pain and swelling.
Il combat peine avec inflammation.
And it is a powerful antioxidant.
Mais c'était également c'est un antioxydant qui est très puissant.
And finally, it kills some of the parasites in the body.
Et finalement, il tue parasites qui dans le corps.
So the question is, there is a tension in the Bible between outward beauty and inward beauty.
Encore une fois, il y a une sorte de tension là même dans la Bible en ce qui a trait à beauté intérieure et beauté extérieure.
This is why I asked the questions before. How much care and attention should we pay or give to outward beauty as Christians?
Et ça fait nous poser question ça qui qualité bagay pour nous faire et pour nous qui qualité et attention pour nous en ce qui a trait avec beauté extérieure.
Again, there is a tension in the Bible.
Il y a une tension dans la Bible.
As we're looking at Esther, the book of Esther, putting a great deal of emphasis on outer beauty.
nous voyons que livre Esther a porté en pile en face sur beauté extérieure.
But there are many places in the Bible where the outer beauty is not counting, it's mostly inner beauty.
Mais quand pile le côté de la Bible, côté yo plus encourager beauté intérieure sur beauté extérieure.
So I did not say conflict or I did not say opposition. I said tension.
Pas dit ni conflit ni opposition, moi dit tension.
So let's see the tension with me here.
On nous ouais tension ça avec moi.
If you go into 1 Peter chapter 3,
Soit aller dans 1 Pierre chapitre 3.
Peter says, your beauty should not come from the outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyle, the wearing of gold jewelry, fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight.
Pierre dit, ayez non cette parure extérieure qui consiste dans les cheveux tressés, les ornements d'or ou les habits qu'on revêt, mais la parure intérieure est cachée dans le cœur, la pureté incorruptible d'un esprit doux et paisible, qui est de grand prix devant Dieu.
Right, so what do you think of this text that we have here from Peter?
Donc, qui ça nous pense de texte ça que Pierre bat nous?
Because now Esther is putting so much emphasis, a whole year emphasis on outer beauty.
Parce que là, nous comparer là, avec texte Esther, là, nous voyons que Esther prend une année complète pour prêter attention avec beauté extérieure.
And then now Peter says outer beauty is not important.
Et alors que Pierre dit là, dans le texte là, que beauté extérieure pas important.
He says, rather it should be that of the inner beauty.
Il dit, au lieu de beauté extérieure là, c'est pour nous prêter attention avec beauté intérieure là.
He says the inner beauty will never fade.
Il dit, beauté intérieure là, les papes jamais on bagaille qui pas et continue à aller.
Not only it will not fade, it has great worth in the sight of God.
Non seulement que c'est un bagage qui a toujours été, son bagage qui a enduré, mais il gagne en pile valeur devant Dieu.
And then if we continue in 1 Samuel chapter 16,
si nous regardons dans 1 Samuel chapitre 16,
in verse 7, he says, but the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart.
1 Samuel 16, verset 7 dit, et l'Éternel dit à Samuel, ne prends point garde à son apparence et à la hauteur de sa taille, car je l'ai rejeté. L'Éternel ne considère pas ce que l'homme considère. L'homme regarde à ce qui frappe les yeux, mais l'Éternel regarde au cœur.
So again, what you think of what the Lord himself talking to prophet Samuel here.
Ça, c'est pas un homme qui dit ça, c'est bon Dieu même qui dit la parole avec le prophète Samuel.
He's telling Samuel that men, you and I, we look at the outward, outside appearance, but the Lord himself looks into the heart of the inward beauty.
Il dit, nous-mêmes, qui les hommes, nous gardons à ça qui frappe les yeux, nous, à apparence extérieure, mais bon Dieu lui-même, il garde le cœur.
Okay, so there is a tension here, right?
Donc, il faut de tension là.
All right, let's go to the final text. I'm going to take one more.
Juste un texte final pour nous.
The Apostle John brings up to us that Jesus himself is saying this one in John chapter 7, verse 24. Jesus says, stop judging by mere appearances, but instead judge correctly. I think we lost my story in here. My story, what happened here? It looks like we lost you here. So, Sister Camille, what happened to my story?
I don't know. I mean, it shows that he's still here. Maybe he got temporarily disconnected.
Okay. Do you want to stop here and get into a little dialogue with the people?
Sure.
Are we
All
getting
right.
some hot topics here, some hot questions, hot commentaries?
A few. We do have a few coming in.
You have them from Facebook and YouTube from both?
Yeah, mostly through YouTube. So we have first off, Sister Vicline said, I think women mainly are impatient, too much thought of that internal body clock. And so society set that standard of you have to get married before 30, or she said, as my aunt loves to say, before you're off the calendar. Okay. So we can talk about that aspect, I guess. I mean, I think it's about women, you know, especially at the time. I mean, women had, as you, I think, discussed in the Ruth portion, you know, women's only form of social mobility was to marry well. That was their only way, right? To
freedom or to claim possessions. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, they needed to marry well, but also, you know, yeah, that aspect that they feel as though they need to get married by a certain age. But I mean, even this routine that they had to go through was not necessarily decided upon by the women, right? That whole 12 months of treatment, that was decided by the king's court. Or
it looks like if they did not do that for Esther, who would have been in trouble, because all those rough hedges as a slave, you know, you need treatment before you get up there.
So what I'm saying is, I don't think it was necessarily her choice to go through it. It was decided that she needed to go through.
But she could have rejected it and says, God is with me. God is my preparation, and I'm okay, right? I know some of our friends that we know might do that, might do something like this. Because they don't believe in all that extra stuff. They believe in natural. We don't have any. We don't have any at Shiloh.
Yeah, so we also have Mikhail that said, so no, why look at someone because of their outside appearance? They could be handsome, beautiful, but disrespect you, and you don't want that. Also, God doesn't look for outward beauty, so why should we?
Whoa. Mikhail is challenging us here.
And then I think Vicline in response said King Xerxes is of the secular world. So I feel like that Esther's outer beauty was more for her to get in the door, but her heart kept him in.
Whoa.
You know, it kept him
here. I like that.
And interested.
that's nice. She's doing interpretation. I like that. Maestro, you don't say anything, Maestro. What happened?
No, I'm listening. Good stuff.
Anything else new before we talk?
And then we have Francis Elise, who says, can a Christian become a bachelor or bachelorette, or can Christians participate in a bachelor to find a spouse? So I mean, I guess making the parallel, I guess, in more of the modern world.
So Pastor Elise is contextualized for us here.
Yeah.
She is putting it back in the 21st century. That's what we have right now. Bachelor and bachelorette. They copying what the kings used to do. They're just practicing it today in our world.
That's a lot of women to try, though.
What you said?
That's a lot of women to try, or a lot of men to try.
But
for the bachelorette.
So you don't think the king did the same thing?
Yeah, but the king was not a Christian.
That's true.
But Esther was serving God. Did she compromise herself?
Yes, she was, but she didn't try many men. She did try many men, though.
She tried one man. The king.
She tried one man, yes. Or she was tried by one man.
But it was a king with plenty of concubines, right?
Yes.
We're gonna cover that in a minute.
She did what she felt she had to do.
All right, that's good.
Like it or hate it, I you know.
All right, so Kabi, what you think of the tension? What would you say to Peter, Apostle Peter, and Prophet Samuel and John in those verses that we read?
about how inner beauty is more
Then, yeah,
important.
inner beauty instead of outer beauty. But Mikael, what would you say to Mikael here? We challenge that.
I mean, I think that's important because at the end of it's kind of like with what Viklin said, is that the outward beauty in some ways can get you through the door.
Oh.
But I mean, I think you're in for a very, it's not a recipe for success to simply go based off of the outer beauty of the person, because at the end of the day, your looks change. And you're not going to be with someone for 50 years because of how they look. So it's a lot more than that. In the same way that, again, it could be the initial source of attraction or, what gets you through the door, but just like you're not going to be judged on Judgment Day based on your outward beauty. It's based on your character and what you've done on this earth.
If I try to help Mikael and challenge you and Viklin, Sister Viklin, if I challenge you, Sister Camille and Sister Viklin here, and I try to be on Mikael's side, do you think when we try to...
We are on Mikael's side.
Not fully.
Okay.
Mikael is on the side of the inner beauty. You guys on the side of both. So that's not the same.
No, I think that inner beauty is a lot more important.
Because you heard what Mikael says, right? She said, if God focused on inner beauty, we should focus on inner beauty.
Okay.
But again, this is my challenge. My challenge, do you think if we put so much focus on the outer beauty, we are helping God to do his thing?
If we focus on the outer beauty?
Yeah.
No.
So too much. You don't think we are helping God? We don't allow God to be God?
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
So should we allow the person to discover the outer beauty instead of forcing it, showing it too much? Because we are living in a world, the focus, the dress, the way they dress, the way they fix their hair, everything become fake. The hair, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, everything. They going overboard, the fingers, the nails, everything going crazy.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm just challenging the situation here.
No, I think that, of course, the focus in our lives should not simply be on outer beauty.
Okay.
I don't think that's God's will for any of us to fixate on that part.
At the same time, we want to call on those that are listening right now. They can help Sister Cami. I'm not asking just for Sister Cami. It's for all of us that are listening, that are watching on Facebook and YouTube. Okay.
Sorry, Stanya said something that's interesting. She said natural does not mean you don't take care of your outward beauty. So like the treatments, the myrrh oil treatments, it's still you showing your natural self.
Yes,
but she's still taking care to still be her best natural self.
But not in society today. They don't do all that treatment. They use the fake stuff.
Yeah, it's different.
I see Cami's voice breaking a little bit.
It's different. These are deep questions. And then Stanya also says Esther compromised to save her people.
Whoa, compromise to save. So Stanya is telling me now the end justified the mean.
Like I said, Esther did what she felt she had to do.
Does the end justify the mean?
She didn't trick him.
No, but we don't know if she compromised. We're gonna get to that in the next verse here. We don't know if she compromised, but again, we are asking questions. We're asking questions because we're looking at the whole Bible, and there is a tension that we found. The fight between the outer beauty and the inner beauty. It's a fight in the Bible to make a balance. As Christians, we have to learn on where to make the balance and how to make the balance. And it becomes an issue. It's a tough one. I don't think the Bible is against outer beauty. But if the outer beauty takes the focus of the inner, we're wasting our time. We're not Christian anymore. That's how I feel. I don't think I have anything against the outer beauty, because I see people, they spend more time in the outer beauty than they read the word of God. They spend more time preparing the outer beauty to come to church than they're willing to sit in the church. This is serious.
I agree with you.
Because I was talking to someone, she took 2 hours to get dressed. And then one day she was taking, it takes a long time to go and do your hair. You finish with your hair. You got to do your nails. Finish with your nails, eyelashes. But
then again, I will say,
yeah.
I will say, this is not something that was necessarily put on. Again, the expectation, I don't think Esther, again, she didn't choose to spend all these months it's because it was deemed that to be acceptable to the king, she had to be exceptionally beautiful. And so then the expectation has always been now that as women and people in general, but women have to go through more. You have to go out into the world being as beautiful as you possibly can. And if you are not, then you might be looked down upon. You might be judged in a certain way. Mm-hmm. So it's a pressure that was put on us, and now we have to carry it, and now we have to be the ones to adjust that.
All right, Maestro, I'll leave it up to you now, Maestro.
Me? I thought we were gonna keep the study. We're
gonna keep the study, but we want to hear from you. They told me they want to hear from you, Maestro.
No, I don't mind giving my opinion. I just don't want to skew the audience's thinking by giving my opinion.
Are you challenging anything, Maestro?
I would say the thing I really challenge is the fascination and the constant what's the word here? A desire to focus on the outward rather than in the inward. I don't want my wife to look just blah. I want my wife to look beautiful. So I strongly encourage, and my wife does it, that my wife does whatever is necessary to enhance her beauty. Although she's beautiful, I'm pretty sure doing treatments and doing whatever is necessary will make her look even more beautiful. And I'm for it. I want my wife to be given a second look when I walk with her out there. I want somebody to look at her and give her a second look. I am pleased when somebody does that. It tells me that I've got a beautiful wife. But at the same time, I am not for a woman focusing her entire time on the outward beauty and not taking care of the inner. Because eventually the person you're living with is going to have, for you to live with a person, they're going to have the quality of inner beauty. Otherwise, your marriage will start falling apart. If the person focuses only on the frivolous things, only on the outward beauty, and has nothing, no moral values, no beauty, no internal beauty, you're gonna have a hard time living with such a person.
Yeah. Okay, I just quickly, but don't we see how that in and of itself can send a mixed message? And that's why I think that it's, again, nothing that you said.
Why would it?
Because women know that they need to be seen as beautiful, but then if they put too much effort into being beautiful, then they're vain.
No, because there should be a balance. You cannot focus too much.
Yeah, it cannot be. But again, so that's why the said woman is taking 2 hours to get ready for work, for church, because the expectation is on them
that's
to look
overkill.
Beautiful.
The expectation from whom?
Who said? Whoever the world, from her husband, whoever Pastor
whoever
Jacob
that king
about.
gonna be, right?
and who's to decide what that balance is? Because it's so complicated.
If that person is in the constant search for that king, I can understand it, although I don't condone it. But if that person is married, I mean, what is the constant fascination to take all this time to make yourself beautiful when you already have a husband who loves you and who appreciates the person that you are?
Because you just said you would want your wife to go into the world looking beautiful.
Beautiful, but I didn't say I want my wife to look like a Hollywood star.
Yeah,
I want her to
maybe
look
it takes that woman 2 hours to be beautiful. Who knows? But maybe it takes I don't know. I'm not in her. But that's I understand what you're saying, but I feel as though we can't blame women for having gone to that extent. I don't feel like we can blame them.
There's one point I pick up also for Maestro here, where you don't want to see a beautiful woman that goes to the gym, that does the makeup, does the hair, does everything. And then when you come inside to sit with her, it's a turnoff. Because you want, when you attract with the beauty, you want to have something you want to offer. We have people working on their beauty, on their body shape, on their all that stuff, and they have nothing inside. No education, no preparation, no nothing. That the thinking is not right. They're just looking for someone to pay the bills. They're just looking for someone to care for them. They're just looking. It doesn't make sense. When you have the outer beauty to show for, at least have some inner beauty. When they come closer, they want to stay.
Otherwise, they are internally bankrupt.
They are internally bankrupt. The guy's gonna come for the outer beauty, take advantage of you, and run.
Because there's nothing there. The lights are on, as they say, the lights are on, but nobody home. There's nothing in there.
We need more women into that discussion.
I agree with what you're saying, but again, I don't think we can blame women for having gone to the extent that it has become now, because again, they're aware that yes, to get through the door, their beauty is important to get them through the door. Now, it's up to them not to let them take over their life. However, we can easily see why it would come to that extent.
So you don't agree some women go overboard?
Obviously. Just some men who only focus on that and pressure women to feel beautiful all the time have gone too far as well.
Camille, one distinction we have to make, though, we have to make sure that we're talking about Christian women. Mm-hmm. I could see a secular woman always resorting to working on her outer beauty to impress people. But when we're talking about Christian women, there should be a different standard.
Whoa. I like that. Maestro, you see, you have to talk. I like that. I hope some of the people listening here can send something in now. I like that, Maestro. There has to be.
Sanya said, Amen, Maestro.
Oh, who said that?
Sanya.
Stanya.
Yes.
Okay, so at least we have some of the women that are agreeing to it.
I agree. I'm just saying I'm not going to put the blame on the women, because I think that there's a reason why they turned out that way.
But
that pressure, okay, I'm going to say there's a pressure.
There is a pressure, I agree. But we become too secular. I'm not saying not to use the secular means, but l'excès unto nuit, right? How do you say that in English, Maestro? Too much of anything is harmful. Is bad, is harmful.
Yes.
I think there is an exaggeration there, and it's inside the church, among Christians.
Who's to say where the line is? I think it's hard. I think it would be difficult. Can we say specifically where the line is, or can we agree that it's probably a little bit blurred?
The line, if you feel you are putting more than 50% in the outer and less than 50% in the inner, there's a problem. You know, the inner has to be 75, maybe the outer 25. I don't know.
But you see that there's no specific. There's no specific balance.
There should be a balance. I mean, there should be a balance. So
I say there should be a balance, but what I'm saying is that who is to say what the balance is for a specific
I don't
person?
know the percentage, but the inner has to be more based on those texts we just read.
Yes,
I
agree with that.
Has to be more, no matter what, even if 51% or 50.99 or whatever it is, the inner has to be more than the outer.
I 100% agree with that.
If the outer focus is more going to the gym, going to the beauty parlor, going to this, and then when it comes to church for an hour, you're complaining, there's a serious problem. You spend 12, 13 hours in your outer beauty. In your outer beauty. You don't go to school. You know, even when you come to church, you would even focus for that 2 hours, and you spend 15 hours preparing your outer beauty. What is that?
Okay, but let me ask you the question. Why do you think women would do that?
You tell me, you're a woman. I'm not a woman. I don't know.
I think I've said it like 4 times already. Why they would do that.
But Camille, how about you? Now let's talk about you.
We're not here to talk about me.
You're talking general. You're talking about women. They have to do that. How about you?
I don't
don't listen to that one. We don't want to get too personal, right?
Yeah. No, but no. Let's be very real here. Let's be real. Why do we think women feel that they have to do all these things? And we're not. I don't think anyone is really saying.
They have to, you said in the beginning, they have, with Stania, they have to do, Fritzlin said that, right? They have to do that to get their foot at the door, you said.
In the door, but why? So why are we blaming the women? Because that's what they need. In a way, not need, but, and again, it's different for everyone. But again, we're not going to pretend that that's not it, that's not what.
So there has to be an education done, not only with the men, with the women also. Maybe the women became more secular because of the men that's going for what the merchandise that they are offering.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And I was waiting for you to say exactly. The reason why women became that way and became so, we could say in some ways obsessed, it's because that's what men are obsessed with. And that's why women continue to do it. People are not going to do things that don't serve them.
So the church becomes a place like bachelorette and bachelor's pageant, or the beauty pageant place.
I think it just became part of how we move in the world in general.
So it becomes a beauty pageant like the king was doing. It becomes a bachelor and bachelorette place.
Life is a beauty pageant. Life has become that way. But yes, church, I mean, again, I think, but I think it's even more than that. I don't really think it's for bachelorette. I think that church has been, especially in the Black community and you know, Haitian communities, where it's somewhere where you always want to go with your best foot forward. You always want to go in with your best foot forward. So,
but because we became so secular with male and female, the relationship cannot last anymore. The relationship becomes like, the church become like a musical chair activity, where the relationship's going from one to the next, and it cannot last because the focus is not right for men and women, not just women, men and women. The focus is not right. Because I have a lot of men that's just focusing on their outer beauty also, and they're not putting anything inside. We have that also going on. So it's not just women doing it. We have some men that's doing it too. Nice too. So should we continue, Camille? Should we continue?
I would.
Do you want to hear just a few?
If there's a pertinent one, let's take one good one.
Okay, so someone said maybe some women focus on their outside beauty because they feel they're not beautiful enough and they need to impress men in order to feel beautiful.
I like this one. It's a good one. The reason it's a good one, it makes reference to the confidence, self-confidence and self-esteem. It's important in our society, in our
someone also said self-esteem.
Yeah, we have a lot of women who have very low self-esteem. They don't believe in that they are beautiful because they compare themselves with others, or they listen to what others are saying about them, what men saying, or they don't believe in their personal beauty. And I think everybody's beauty is unique. It's the way you treat yourself and comport yourself. So it's a very good one. This one, I like it because it makes reference to the self-confidence. It's who you are, who you believe you are, and how you put yourself and how you comport yourself. That's going to determine how beautiful you are. I was looking at a beauty pageant. There was a girl from Africa that was so dark, and you can see now they promoting something else. They showing how beautiful she is, and she was so dark. Back in the days, she wouldn't be beautiful, but now they changing it. So at least that dark skinned girl, very very dark, now they boosting up her self-esteem. She knows with my dark complexion, I'm still beautiful. So this is beautiful, but I don't know. But I like this one, Maestro. So it's a good one. Women, those women and men can take that one to heart and work on their beauty, no matter what people think, no matter what people say. It's between them and God as far as the beauty they want to bring out of themselves. You are beautiful, no matter what they say. That's what the song says, right, Maestro?
Yeah, but it's all a matter of the mind.
We'll sing that song. Is it Christina Aguilera?
Christina Aguilera, yeah.
Words can bring me down. I'm beautiful no matter what they say.
Yes.
You know? So again, you decide, Maestro Suri. Why you smile, Maestro?
Someone also said beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And based off of what you said, Pastor Jacob, I mean, that is very true. And I think that, no matter what you are doing on the outside or inner, it cannot, I personally feel, is if people are moving through the world simply with the intent of finding a mate or finding a husband or wife, whatever, we're always going to do things not for ourselves and not for our personal relationship with God, but simply to try to get someone else to love us. And I don't think that's a road for success at all. So as we move, whatever it is you're doing, if it's for the intent of always impressing people, you're never going to find joy or peace in that. Whatever you are doing has to be for your own personal fulfillment.
There was a phrase back in the days that was very famous. To know me is to love me, or to love me is to know me. Something like this. You never heard that one before?
To know me is to love me.
To know me is to love
To know
me.
me
Right?
is to love me.
Yeah. So, but we can reverse it around too, right? To love me is to know me. But the phrase, I know the phrase was to know me is to love me. But again, we can reverse it, which means get to know me, and then you'll fall in love with what you discover. So to me, it's a better way to get to know the people, because I spoke to several couples that said I did not love him at first sight. But when I got to know him, I realized he's the best person for me. You never heard that one before, Maestro?
No.
When the girl says, when he came to talk to me, I did not like him. I was not attracted.
Oh, you mean a girl saying that? Okay, yeah. Okay. No, I got you. I got you. Yeah, definitely, yes.
So you heard that before?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was not attracted to him, but I got to know him as a friend. When I got to know him, then I fall in love with him. You know, hey, I think it would have been way better that way. I don't mind if you feel you believe in love in the first sight, you know, but again, I like the phrase to know me is to love me.
And I particularly like it best this way as well, because I would rather see a person not look impressive on the outside.
Whoa.
And get to know me and get to know them and realize how much more beautiful they're on the inside than to see an external beauty and like go head over heels over that person. And then, as you said earlier, you start to talk to that person and there's nothing inside. It's like, I mean, it's blank, it's void. there's a big void on the inside of that person.
Sister Cami, do you think my historian talks that way because of age?
No, I absolutely don't, that is 100% true. It's obviously, I mean, I don't know if anyone's marrying someone simply because of their looks. That's absolutely asinine. I don't want to use a really mean word, but it doesn't make any sense. And it's not a recipe for success or happiness in your life. That's not,
But I met several young people. I said, why you like this guy? No, he looks cute. He's handsome.
But how young were they, my Pastor Jake? How young?
Wait till they get married, Pastor Jake.
How young?
Wait till they get married.
What you saying?
I said, wait till they get married and see they still like that person. I don't care how handsome they look. If the
but
person
that
that
sounds like
something
sounds like something like high school or maybe early college. Once you get into adulthood, I think it becomes very clear that it's not just the looks, or the looks are even just a very small fraction of what truly attracts you to that person and makes you want to be with that person.
Cute. He looks handsome. He's built. Check his chest. Check this.
How old were these people? How old were these?
Some of them, but we got people in the 30s saying this. What you talking about here?
I don't know.
But those people I'm talking about, they're mostly in the 20s.
Okay. Early 20s?
Yes, early 20s.
Okay. So that doesn't count. Early 20s, of course, that's all you're in. Truthfully, nobody in the early 20s is really looking into getting married, so they're not that interested in what the person is.
He looks handsome. He's built.
Early 20s.
How is he on the inside, though? How is he on the inside?
They'll figure out when they're in their mid-20s.
All right, let's go. Right, still, things gonna get heated, okay?
And plus, beauty is not permanent anyway, folks.
That's what I said. It fades. It goes away.
It does.
Right. In Esther, verse 13, Esther chapter 2, and he says, this is how she would go to the king. This is how she would go and present herself to the king. Anything she wanted was given to her to take with her from the harem to the king's palace.
Verset 13, c'est ainsi que chaque jeune fille allait vers le roi, et quand elle passait de la maison des femmes dans la maison du roi, on lui laissait prendre avec elle tout ce qu'elle voulait.
Okay, as you can see in the text, they make mention to the ladies parading around that are going to present themselves to the king.
Comme vous avez réalisé dans le texte, ils ont montré, ils parlaient de dames, ça a paradé, qui qualité situation il a donné.
So the king is about to line them up after the 12 months.
Pour après commencer à aligner pour étudier beauté après 12 mois.
And I will explain to you some cultural stuff in a minute here.
On pourrait aller parler de quelques bagages culturels avant dans quelques minutes.
But one of the key things in the text says anything she wanted was given to her.
Mais une bagage clé que nous avons dans le texte là, c'est que quel que soit sa dame, ça a été voulu te quitter au premier avec eux.
So they can, whatever they feel they need to use to make a first impression on the king, they were able to receive.
Quel que soit bagage yo te senti yo te besoin pour te ka impressionner roi, yo te permettre que yo te prend yo aller avec yo dans place pour ta vivre là.
In the English verse, they mentioned from the harem to the king's palace.
Dans texte anglais, yo dit de côté fille ta vivre là jusqu'à palais roi.
So the word harem there, it's where they were keeping all the women's, all the concubines of the king.
Dans mot harem ça qui utilisé en anglais, c'est en place côté te kembe, te quitter toute femme, yo te reta vivre là.
Okay. So now when God prepares the setting, he will come with some special privileges.
Le bon Dieu préparer environnement, il vient avec quelques privilèges spéciaux.
And that's what Esther is living here because God prepared the setting for her.
C'est exactement situation ça que Esther a vivre parce que bon Dieu t'a préparé environnement pour lui.
She received a bunch of special privileges.
Lui te recevoir paquet de privilèges spéciaux.
Again, the first one that we read in this text, it says whatever she wants, she can take with her.
Premier privilège spécial nous te lit dans texte là, c'est quel que soit bagay yo te senti yo te besoin pour ta ka faire plus belle toujours, yo te ka prendre avec yo.
And but there's a strict direction that was given on how to present themselves to the king.
Mais te gagné une direction spécifique yo te ba yo pour qui j'en peux te paraître devant roi.
But there are privilege that comes with the beauty pageant.
Mais gan pile privilège qui vient avec concours de beauté ça.
All the candidates had to present themselves in a special way.
Tout candidat yo te obligé présenter de façon spéciale.
If you kind of roll back with me to chapter 2, verse 9,
Sous ta retourné derrière avec moi dans chapitre 2 verset 9.
those are some of the treatments, at least 4 main ones that Esther received the time she walked into the house where they kept the women.
Verset 9 là, li mentionne 4 qualités de traitement que Esther a subi.
So again, they bring those ladies to one of the eunuchs, king's eunuch, which is Haggai.
Yo te mette dame ça sous direction eunuch ça qui était le Haggai.
And then they said Haggai immediately was giving beauty treatment to Esther.
Il dit que Haggai était immédiatement by Esther des traitements de beauté.
Not only Esther won his favor, but he realized Esther may need even more help than the rest.
Non seulement que Esther était une faveur de lui-même, elle était réalisé que Esther avait besoin d'un plus de traitement que l'autre.
Because remember, she was a slave.
Pas oublier que Esther son esclave.
So again, he realized that there is something special about this woman.
Monsieur t'es réalisé t'es combat spécial de femme ça.
Maybe
she had inner beauty, Pastor Jacob.
Maybe he discovered that was so quick.
Yeah, probably.
We don't know. We don't know the conversation, the quick conversation they had. Yes. Maybe something.
I'm sorry. I don't think so. I don't think so. You can continue. I doubt it.
We don't know. We don't know, Kami. We don't know.
We don't know.
About that woman. There was something that caught his attention.
All right. She immediately was giving special food to eat.
Et yo bali immédiatement de manger des mets spéciales pour manger.
So we can tell maybe they were keeping her healthy there.
Donc nous avons réalisé la PC qui est en santé.
Because they did not want for her to gain extra weight so she doesn't look good.
Parce que pas voulu qu'elle te prend poids de façon pour pas te paraître en façon qui pas présentable devant roi.
So again, maybe we can learn from some of those things they were doing for Esther here.
Peut-être nous apprendre de quelques dans bagages que tu fait pour Esther.
So maybe we need some spa treatment here for the women, Maestro.
Peut-être nous besoin quelques traitements pour Fabiola.
Right, she immediately not only was giving beauty treatment, she was giving special food to eat.
Non seulement que tu as les produits de beauté rapide pour te commencer à utiliser, mais tu as les manger spécial tout.
She was giving 7 women, 7 maids to care for her.
Tu as les 7 femmes, 7 servantes pour te prendre soin.
And I turned around and I said, only God can do something like this for you.
Et c'est bon Dieu seulement qui te fait faire comme ça pour le monde.
She's coming from being a servant, being a slave. Now she got 7 women, 7 maids serving her.
Une dame qui était esclave, elle sorti de l'esclavage, qu'il y a pour gagner 7 femmes qui apprennent soin.
So I don't know why those Bible guys allow Disney to steal the story like this instead of them producing it. What's going on here?
Par contre, ça fait tout agrégé de la Bible, ça va permettre que c'est Disney qui volait une histoire qui est aussi significative.
And Disney call it Cinderella instead of calling it the story of Esther.
Et Disney relève Cinderella au lieu que l'histoire d'Esther.
Because they know that the Bible wouldn't sell.
Ils connaissent ils te mettent la Bible sous nom histoire ça et bon bah qui t'a vendu.
But again, if you read the story of Cinderella, you can see it matches what's going on in the book of Esther here.
Encore une fois, sous l'histoire Cinderella, on peut réellement matcher avec l'histoire de la vie Esther.
And the 4th thing, she immediately was placed into the best apartment in the palace or at the harem.
Et quatrièmement, il place immédiatement dans la meilleure place dans côté dans palais avec les filles.
The message that gives me, God gives you the best when he's with you.
Et message que nous avons tiré, de leçon qu'a tiré de ça, c'est que bon Dieu, bah, ou ça qui absolument meilleur là, le lien avec vous.
Again, so at least you guys have this. Those are some 4 things for treatment Esther received right away by Eunuch Haggai.
Donc, c'est 4 traitements ça, que Esther commence à recevoir immédiatement par Eunuch Haggai.
She was giving beauty treatment.
Il était le traitement de beauté.
She was eating special food.
Il était le manger spécial.
He was giving 7 young women to care for her.
Il mettait 7 servantes, jeunes servantes à disposition.
And she immediately was placed into the best apartment in the palace.
Et il placé immédiatement dans la meilleure place et dans le palais.
Again, let's go to the next verse 14 here.
On a le verset 14.
In the evening, they said, in the evening, keep the word evening, Maestro, she would go there, or Esther or the women, she would go there, and in the morning to return to another part of the harem to the care of Shashgaz, the king's eunuch, who was in charge of the concubines. She will not return to the king unless he was pleased with her and summoned her by name. This is important.
Verset a dit, elle y allait le soir, et m'tarement noté le soir. Et le lendemain matin, elle passait dans la seconde maison des femmes sous la surveillance de Shashgaz, eunuque du roi et gardien des concubines. Elle ne retournait plus vers le roi, à moins que le roi n'en eût le désir et qu'elle ne fût appelée par son nom.
Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of cultural stuff that is there, right there in that verse 14 here.
Bon paquet et bagaille, éléments culturels qui dans verset 14 là.
Let me just give you a couple of them and then we're going to go to our points because we're trying to close this last final point here.
Bon quelques là dedans et nous pour aller bon quelques là dedans pour nous terminer parce qu'il faut nous aller dans le dernier point nous.
Now the 12 months of beauty treatment is finished right now.
Qu'on y a 12 mois de beauté, de traitement de beauté a fini.
Now the beauty pageant is about to start.
Qu'on y a concours de beauté pour commencer.
But they said they're going to bring them one by one to the king.
Mais ils pour aller mener yo et une par une devant roi.
The Bible did not tell us from the thousands of people that came how many were selected.
La Bible a dit nous et parmi des milliers de femmes qui allaient combien ont été sélectionnées.
I don't know if it was 50, I don't know if it was 200, I don't know if it was 5,000.
Nous ne savons pas si c'était 50, c'était 200 bien 5000.
So we don't know the exact number of women that were chosen to be selected and be prepared.
Nous ne savons pas le nombre exact de femmes qui ont été sélectionnées pour être préparées avec traitement de beauté.
But each one of them is going to have a night.
Mais chaque femme ça yo t'a gagné privilège pour passer une nuit avec roi.
They're going to come in the evening to go to the king.
Yo pour aller le soir puis aller devant roi.
They're going to spend a night with the king. I like that, Maestro.
Yo pour passer une soirée avec roi.
Because I want to place attention to what's going on here. There's a sexual tone that's kind of hiding behind the text.
Une sorte de ton sexuel là qui paraît et qui sous-entendu.
Because they said in the evening she would go there and then they close it up. They don't tell us the details. And then she wake up the next morning to go to the other part of the house.
L'aller au soir et il ferme porte là, il pas dit nous qui ça va passer et le demain matin elle retourne.
And when she comes back, she does not go back where she was with Haggai anymore, with Eunuch Haggai anymore.
Le retourner sorti dans rencontre avec roi, il pas retourner à joindre Haggai encore.
They sent them to another palace, another harem, where that's being cared by Eunuch Shashgaz.
Yo mené dans l'autre harem, dans l'autre localité en dedans et palais. La côté Kounia, yo pas jeune Haggai encore jeune Shashgaz.
If you read the rest of the text, they said Shashgaz is the king's eunuch who was in charge of his concubines.
Sous li texte là bien pour Shashgaz, c'était eunuque qui était en charge concubine yo.
So again, it's telling us something here.
Donc là, dit nous bagay là.
As soon as you spend the night with the king,
aussitôt que vous passez une nuit avec roi,
you're not a virgin anymore.
ou pas en vierge encore.
You become one of his concubines.
Ou vini une concubine yo.
So they don't send you where the candidates were anymore. They send you now, in the other section of the palace where the king's concubines lived.
Yo pas voyo côté vierge et encore dans partie dans section ça, mais on voit dans l'autre section dans palais à côté concubine roi vive.
So there was a sense of polygamy that was being practiced there.
Donc c'était gagné polygamie évidemment qui t'a pratiqué là.
So again, it's different than bachelor and bachelorette here.
Donc on était un environnement qui était différent de l'environnement nous gagne konya côté nous gagne un bachelier avec un bachelière.
Because in our time today, in the 21st century, the bachelor and bachelorette, they try all those women or all those men, and then they only keep one. All the women go back on the street.
Parce que tant que nous vivons qu'on y a bachelier avec bachelière, yo juste essayer toute fille ou bien tout garçon yo, mais yo pas quitter au retournant dans quoi yo voulez aller.
So again, but the king, each one he tried, he had to keep her as one of his concubines. He had no choice.
Mais roi depuis le fin d'essayer en femme, il pas qu'à voler aller encore, il est obligé qu'elle comme une concubine yo.
So I'm giving you some cultural stuff in the background that's being done here.
Donc m'a baos quelques informations culturelles sur texte là.
But the king had to pick one of them to be the queen.
Mais dans mi-temps concubine ça yo que roi fin essayer yo, il est obligé choisir une parmi eux pour le faire de lui reine.
So they were lining up one after the other. Every night they bring another one to the king.
Donc ils étaient alliés dans ça chaque soirée yo porte une by roi.
They said the king, you will not return to the king unless the king was pleased with you and summoned you by name.
Yo dit ou pas te ka retourner al roi moi que roi te prend plaisir non ou même il te mandé pour même pardon.
But again, there's one chance to be the queen. There's only one queen.
Mais c'est un seul dans femme ça qui était ka reine.
So we don't know which one the king is going to pick so far.
Nous pas connaît qui est là-dedans yo roi t'a choisi.
But he's going to have sexual relations with all of them.
Mais il t'a pral gen relation sexuelle avec toute femme ça yo.
He lined them up.
Il allié yo.
So again, you can see if you go and contextualize what's going on, which means every night he's having a different wedding ceremony here.
Donc si vous ka contextualiser ça qu'a fait là, comme si chaque soir il y a une sorte de cérémonie de mariage.
He's married to all those women.
Parce que dans la culture époque là, ça veut dire qu'il était marié avec toute femme ça.
Because as soon as he takes off the virginity of that woman becomes his.
Parce que aussitôt que il prend virginité en femme, femme ça vient possessionner.
Again, the king was having a ball here with all those women lining up here.
Non, roi était réellement fêté avec toute femme ça. Pastor Jacob, my question is, I'm wondering how could the king remember all those names? Because he had to call them by name, ask for them by name.
He has help. He has his people that's guiding him, and not only that, he's only gonna call by name what he was pleased with. And second, they can line them up. He can pay a visit to see them lining up for him also.
Okay, got you.
They can bring them in the courtyard and line them up for the king to see.
Okay. Maybe with a name tag?
I don't know if there's name tag back then. We don't know what's going to happen. But this is really crazy here. Concubines, polygamy.
That's crazy stuff. But this king had a lot of energy, obviously.
Oh, he was being well fed, well cared for. We don't know how much exercise he was doing. He was healthy. Because most of the kings also sometimes they go into war with their people. So we don't know. It might be a big soldier, a big, how do you say guerrier, a big...
warrior?
Warrior. So we don't know. because they had the biggest empire.
Yeah.
All right. So when God prepares the settings,
Le bon Dieu préparait environnement.
you can assure that the king will be pleased with you and will summon you by name.
Ou remettre été assuré que roi prend plaisir non même et l'a demandé pour vous de nom.
Because God is the one preparing your setting for you.
Parce que c'est bon Dieu qui a préparé environnement pour vous-même.
So you're not just going to compromise yourself and become a concubine because God is with you. He's going to bring you, he's not going to make you the tail, he's going to make you the head.
Parce que pas juste à compromettre tête et pour venir devenu en concubine parce que bon Dieu a fait de vous-même la tête et non la queue.
There is the transfer for travel from the harem to the king's palace.
Parce qu'il y a un transfert qui va le faire de harem à palais royal là.
I don't have that much time, but there's a sense of suspense that's happening in that transfer, in that travel time.
Bon sorte de suspense qu'a fait dans tant côté mon ap sorti dans harem pour aller dans palais royal là.
So the Esther, as she's going to travel from that harem to the palace, she's asking, am I the one? Am I the one? Am I the one? You know?
Pendant que Esther a sorti dans harem pour aller dans palais royal là, demande est-ce que c'est moi-même qui va choisir?
Everybody trying to make a first impression.
Parce que tout chacun a essayé de faire une première impression qui une bonne première impression.
Because again, the king will stop maybe the process if he finds the queen here.
Parce que peut-être roi a suspendre processus là aussitôt que joindre les reines qu'il a besoin.
Maybe some of those virgins will be returned home.
Peut-être qu'il y a quelques dames qui vont retourner la caillou vierge.
Or maybe some will choose to stay in the palace as a concubine.
Ou bien il y a d'autres qui a choisi pour rester dans le palais comme concubine.
And the second eunuch for the king, which is Shashgaz, he was the guardian of the concubines.
Et Shashgaz, qui est le deuxième eunuque, là, il mentionne dans le texte, ça, il était gardien concubine. Ça.
He was the one that was in charge to care for all those concubines.
C'était lui-même qui était en charge pour prendre soin concubine. Ça.
So again, maybe that explains why the king had to turn those guys into eunuchs.
Et peut-être ça qui a expliqué ça que fait roi était obligé de transformer ça en eunuque.
So again, how do you call it again, Maestro, when they take the men and make him become a eunuch? Yeah, but how do you say it in English?
Castrate.
Castrated. Yeah, they were castrated. Thank you, sister. They were castrated. Those guys, the king had to do that to protect his assets.
Roi était obligé de châtrer ça pour protéger possession.
Make sure those guys don't take advantage of those women. And then there is a risk also that's involved in that travel from the harem to the palace.
C'est un risque également qui était gagné, il était soutenu la sortie dans harem pour aller dans palais royal.
You offer yourself to the king and you may not have been picked by the king.
Ou offrir tête à roi, mais roi n'a pas choisi.
But again, the relationship that was there just to be close to that king, to have a chance, maybe one day of a year to be close to that king, it was something special for those women at that time because of the culture.
Femmes, ça peut-être de juger que juste gagner une relation, même pour une soirée seulement avec roi, c'est une spécialité.
Some women may have to wait 2 years to get to have another night with the king.
Parce que il y a d'autres femmes qui attendent même 2 ans avant que le roi ait une relation avec eux encore.
Maybe some will never have another chance because the king was never pleased with them.
Peut-être qu'il n'y a jamais chance pour retourner contre roi encore parce que le roi n'a pas de plaisir dans eux-mêmes.
They're just going to be there as one of the concubines in the palace, but they never cared for them.
Il y a juste une concubine qui était dans le palais royal là, mais pas de monde qui jamais et demandé ça au mouvement.
So again, there's a risk in there.
C'est un risque qui était entré là, qui était impliqué là.
All right, Sister Camille, I'm going to stop right here and give the contest questions.
Okay.
And then we can, after the contest question, we can cover some of the dialogue and some of the comments. And then we close and we go back to the answer. Okay, contest questions. You ready?
Yes.
First question. Are you reading it?
All right. What were some of the beauty benefits of myrrh oil?
That's the first one. All right.
Should I translate it or it's not necessary?
Go ahead, Maestro. It's up to you. It's up to you, Maestro.
I don't think it's necessary. They're going to answer in English anyway, so they understand the questions.
But at least the people on the prayer line can understand what's going on also.
OK. Première question, c'est qui qualité bénéfice dans la beauté en femme que l'huile de myrrhe t'est provoqué?
So, you put it, vous mettez some about the family, about the garçon tout, Maestro.
Mais comme c'est de fin à pas.
Okay. Second question, Sister Camille.
During the beauty pageant, why is it important for the king to summon you by name?
Whoa. Wow.
Pendant le concours de beauté, ça, pour qui ça est important pour le roi te demander, te mentionner ou par nom?
Okay. Third question.
Name 4 special treatments Esther received from the eunuch Haggai.
Troisième question, dis citer 4 traitements spéciaux que Esther te recevoir de Eunuch Haggai.
Okay.
All right. Number 4, what was the role of the king's eunuch Shazgaz?
Quatrièmement, qui rôle eunuque roi qui était le charge gaz là te rempli?
Okay, I think we got the 4 questions. We can go back. I stopped the showing so I don't make the same mistake I made last week, right? Last week I showed the answers by mistake. That's not going to happen again.
Et semaine passée, je fait erreur dans le montrer réponse par erreur. C'est sûr que ça va arriver ma soeur encore.
What we can do, we can maybe replay the questions a little bit before we go into the discussion.
Avant nous aller en discussion, nous allons montrer question encore une fois.
Okay. What were some of the beauty benefits of myrrh oil? That's the first one. Doing the beauty pageant. Why is it important for the king to summon you by name? Then 4 special treatments Esther received from the eunuch Haggai. And what was the role of the king's eunuch Shashgaz? All right, Sister Camille.
Yes.
It's your show now.
Okay. I actually do have a lot of thoughts. I was making a lot of notes. So first of all, the portion where you were talking about, they had to set a first impression.
Okay.
Well, their first impression was their looks, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So these women were judged solely on the way they looked. So my question is it at least initially?
Yeah, but initially by the people that was doing the selections, yes.
They were judged by their looks, not
by their look.
Okay, not by the king, but by the people
Not
that are
by
making
the king has a lot more to play with. We're gonna go over that. But the people that was doing the selections from the door, it was by their looks.
So her looks got her through the door.
Yes.
Okay. So
but there was no beauty treatment yet.
There are no beauty treatment. Okay. But her looks
it was natural. It was natural.
Okay. All right.
They just saw potential.
Okay, but we agree that her looks were important.
Natural looks were important. You're in trouble here.
I'm not in trouble. I'm not trying
because
to.
They did not receive the 12-month beauty treatments yet.
Okay,
most of them were poor. Most of them were poor. They did not have any access to those treatments.
But either way, they had to be beautiful.
Natural beauty, yes.
Beauty, whatever,
yes.
Naturally or whatever. Either way, they have to be beautiful.
No hair, no eyelashes.
Okay. So then they did have to go through the beauty treatments to enhance what they already had.
Yes, I don't mind that so far. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
I mean, I'm not saying anything wrong. This is
no, you're doing good so far. Keep going.
The people around Esther were the ones that placed the importance on her beauty, not necessarily her.
That's true, but she knew she was beautiful.
Okay.
Because
but that doesn't have anything to do with it. The people who were making it important was not her.
Because from the beginning of the text, they kept saying how beautiful Esther was.
Okay, but again, she was not the one placing the importance on her beauty. They were the ones who were making it important.
Yes, they did. Yes. Okay. So far, so good.
So then, and they even controlled her diet to make sure that she stayed trim and fit.
She stayed thin. Yeah, she stayed fit.
Fit, whatever. We don't know how she looked, but she stayed. So again, they're putting a really great importance on how she looks.
Yes.
Okay. And so they go through the year of the treatment, okay? And then the king has to be pleased with them and then summon them. So when it says that he was pleased with her, are we assuming that he hasn't spoken to her yet?
There are some stuff that they did not put on the emphasis, the training of the sitting on the table to eat, the training on the dancing, the training in the talking, the training in dealing with society. There are a lot of trainings involved during that 12-month process also. Okay. It's not just beauty. There were many stuff preparing them for warrior. It takes some work with those eunuchs.
Okay, but does any of it have to do with her inner beauty? Any of those things?
Oh, the inner beauty did impress the eunuch, right?
Is that what impressed him?
What you think impressed him? It's not just the outer. I guarantee you there might be other women that was more beautiful.
How do you know?
I don't know.
She was the one that was initially picked. Because we all know that the first thing a man notices about a woman is her personality.
Okay.
I'm being sarcastic. No, it's not. I'm being sarcastic. Excuse me?
She's being sarcastic, right? So,
I mean, is that a comeback or are you being sarcastic?
Sarcastic, she said.
I'm being sarcastic.
So the men recognize first the body looks, the outside looks.
It depends on the man, Camille.
But you know, there's a song, one of the famous songs, I'm in love with her body, right?
No.
You know, one of those songs from the secular world, I'm in love with her body. So maybe that's what you're making reference to. The men first attract to the body.
No, I'm not going to fall into this trap. No, I'm not. Let's not pretend at all. Let's not pretend. I mean, okay, and we're talking about the book of Esther. Okay. She's in the secular world right now. Okay. She's not in the Christian world. She's in the secular world right now where she is.
Okay.
And in that secular world, she did not get through the door or get all this attention because of her inner beauty. I don't think, and again, maybe what really attracted the king to her once he got to kind of know her was her inner beauty. Okay. But that's not what got her this far.
But we understand, I understand that what got her through the door was her outer beauty. It's pretty evident. But we don't know whether what got her a special favor from the eunuch was her inner beauty. That we don't know. The text doesn't tell us.
Okay, that we don't know, but what we know
is that yes, how come she received a better treatment? He favored her above all the other women.
Okay, but then in all the ways that he favored her, all of them had to do with her looks. We can say that.
I don't think
we don't know. All the special treatments he were giving her with her special diet and all the special treatments she was getting, all of those were to continue to improve her looks.
Yes.
Of course, yes.
So she has to make a first impression on the king. She has to make a first impression on the king. Yes, I agree.
So again,
it may have been because Camille, it may have been because he was so impressed with the way she thought that he knew that he had to improve her looks because she was not the most beautiful. She may have been so deep in the way
we're completely making a guess. This is the argument I'm trying to make. I absolutely do not agree that the looks are the most important thing about a person. I 100% do not.
I'll say amen to this, Camille.
It's
I'll
not.
Second that motion.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. What I am saying is that we are telling women, be beautiful.
Okay.
Naturally or whatever, be beautiful. Okay. But don't put too much emphasis on it. Don't focus on it too much. Don't put all your energy in it. But it's important for you to be beautiful. How is that not a double standard? That's what I'm trying to
It's
get
not
at.
a double standard, Cam. It's not a double standard.
Okay, there's
But
something.
then we're criticizing women, but we're criticizing women for putting whatever we think is too much energy into it, but we're saying that they need to be beautiful.
Camille, we're saying, well, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying, don't look like your grandma.
Dr. Phil said, don't look like a hot mess.
Exactly. Take care of your outer beauty, but your inner beauty is more important. That's my philosophy.
I 100%.
What impresses me about a woman, first and foremost, is not her outer beauty. It's her inner beauty.
Yes.
Okay, now there's something we left out in the whole discussion. I left it out consciously because I wanted to be in the way, because I wanted the discussion to be free. But I'm getting close to the end, I have to bring it in. Is there anything else of the serious comments from YouTube and Facebook that I have to pick up before I give that comment?
No.
Okay.
Everybody's just answering the question.
We cannot live out the providence of God. We cannot live out the omnipresent and omniscient and omnipotent of God in the mix. The whole event is manipulating and controlled by God. So Esther did not just come because of her beauty. There's something a little bit more. We do not know the attraction of everyone who saw Esther. Maybe it's God working in those people's eyes and mind to see something special in her. You understand? I did not want to put that up front. I left it to close with. You understand? But there's something, there's a D plus, maestro. There's something extra. There's a little bit than just the beauty, outer and inner. And the inner beauty was definitely there because Esther, remember, she had a tough life to be an orphan, lose your father and mother and be taken care by a cousin. And we know she's going to tough time to even hold herself and keep herself pure, keep herself the way she was. It's not easy. Most young people will compromise themselves to survive. But thank God she did not do that. She kept her composure. She kept her purity. She kept everything. This is serious. So the inner and the outer was there, you know? But at the same time, God was in the mix. So it's not just simple. God was in the mix. This is why we cannot forget the topic when God proposed the setting, when God prepares the setting, right? That was the topic, right? When God prepares the setting, what happened? When God prepares the setting, when your time comes to be a Cinderella, God will prepare the setting. That was the topic. When your time comes to be a Cinderella, God will prepare the setting. God will allow you to use the secular means to make a first impression. God will be in the mix. So all the secular means wouldn't get Esther there if God was not in the mix. Because all those other candidates, 50, 100, thousands of other candidates, they had the same means Esther had. But they still did not make the cut. So if God was not in the mix, the king wouldn't pick Esther. God was in the mix to make Haggai have favor for Esther. Just like God was in the mix to make the jailer, the prison guards have favor on Daniel, have favor on Joseph, have favor on Apostle Paul. So when God is in the mix, God will cause people around you to have favor on you. Are you there with me? I left that out in the beginning because as soon as I say that, I know the discussion stopped. So I wanted the discussion to be done first. Now, we don't have that much time, Sister Camille. Anything you guys want to say, my story in Camille, before I get into the answers of the questions?
No, we're good. I'm
Sister
good.
Camille, thinking. She's thinking.
I think everyone, if we go chasing after beauty and outward beauty, where it's just downward spiral.
That's true. That's true.
Focus on you. Don't try to do things to please a man, to please anybody. Work on you and your relationship with God.
That's true. Okay.
So we have a lot of answers in.
Okay, that's good. And you're closing the answers. As of this time, there's no more.
Okay,
right?
so how many questions were there? 4?
4.
All right, it seems that most everyone has their answers in. Yes, so we're off. We've given about, I think we've given enough time.
Okay, what were some of the beauty benefits of myrrh oil? I got 6 benefits there.
All right, so
who answered and who got it right? Okay. Give us some names.
But how many answers?
How many people answers? How many respondents?
Okay, we have Mikael. Titus. I mean, Titus listed all of them except for the kills some parasites. Okay. But most of them.
Who else answers? Even though if they answer won't, just call on the names.
Yeah, so Mikael, Titus, Wilnika, Dorinda.
Okay.
And David.
Oh, King David.
King David. Well, all he said was combats pain and swelling.
Okay. So how many people got the 6?
People got the 6. I believe 3 people. Mikael, Wilnika, and Dorinda.
Okay, so you got 3 people who got the 6. We can move on to the next one.
All right.
Doing the beauty pageant. Why is it important for the king to summon you by name? The answer: the candidate will not return to the king for another night, Maestro, unless the king is pleased with her and summon her by name. So this is your one and only chance.
Sorry. Stanya as well. Stanya also for number 1. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I have to navigate both.
So it was important because the candidate will not return if the king does not summon them by name. You understand? He said, why is it important?
Yes.
Because if the king does not summon them by name, they will not return to the king for another night.
So someone says, because the king has to individually speak to you, and also because that means he's pleased with you, so he may call you because of that. Does that count?
No, because pleased with you.
Yeah, a lot of people put to show that he's pleased with you.
Okay, yes, that's good. That's good because the text has that. Verse 14.
Okay, so we have Mikael.
Unless the king is pleased with you.
Yeah.
But again, what the emphasis I wanted to put was the return for another night.
I'm not sure people put that part.
But because the pleasing is in the text, is in the context, I have to accept it.
Someone says to have a better chance of becoming the queen because it means the king acknowledges you.
No.
Okay, so we'll stick with the shows he's pleased with you.
Keep the please or the return for another night.
Okay, everybody put just the pleased with you.
And let's stay with the please.
Oh. Okay, so with the pleased with you, we have Dorinda, Titus, David, and Mikael.
Okay. Because
and Viklin.
Yeah, because I have no choice. But the main answer was the return. The main answer was the return to the king for another night. Because if the king is pleased with you, and he will summon you by name and make you have a chance to return. All right, but it's okay. The king is pleased with you, he summoned you by name. It's all right. You agree, Maestro?
Yes.
Okay. Next one, number 3. Name 4 special treatment Esther received from the eunuch Agai.
Okay.
She immediately was giving beauty treatment, special food, 7 young women as maids, and was placed in the best apartment in the palace.
Okay, so we have Mikael, Wilnika, okay, Viklin, Dorinda.
Those people answers or they got it right?
They got it right. They said all 4.
Wow. Okay.
Dorinda, David. Yeah, I believe everyone. Let me see if Stania entered that one. Yep. All right, Stania as well.
Okay.
I'm scared of Titus. What's happening to Titus this time?
Okay, wait, hold on. There's so many people now. Yeah, I don't think I'm looking through it, and I'll even when we're done, everybody, please, don't worry. I'm gonna go back through to make sure that I take everyone accounted for. Yeah, Titus is there as well. There are so many people.
Okay, so you're gonna put them on your spreadsheet, right?
Yes, I'm putting them now as I'm trying to do them at the same time, but I'm taking note of it. I can see, and I'll be able to go back as well.
That's good. Very good. Very good. Last question. What was the woe of the king's eunuch Shaggaz? Shaggaz was in charge of the king's concubines. He was their guardian. Anyone got that?
He was in charge of the concubines. That's Titus, Mikael, Dorinda, Wilnika. Okay. And then let me check on, yep, Stania as well. Okay.
So talk to me right now.
So we have, I'm going to have to go back. So I can't give, I don't know if I'll be able to give a rundown right now because I'm trying to go through everyone's answers. Yeah.
So where are we now, Maestro?
Conclusion?
Closure, right? Conclusion. We have no choice. It's over. Your party's over.
Yep.
It's time to go.
It is.
Okay. Let me just go to the conclusion with you guys. Yeah. Sister Camille, we got it, right?
Yeah, I'm putting them in. So yeah, you can go through your conclusion and then maybe at the end, if I put in everyone's, then we can go through a standing.
The conclusion is already given. I'm just going to reiterate.
Go ahead.
Are you there? But you're not translating no more? You gave up, Maestro?
Oh, no. Well, as part of the contest, I don't translate, but whenever you do a presentation, I'll translate.
All right, let's close, Maestro. Let's close. When your time comes to be the Cinderella, God will prepare the setting for you.
Le temps arrivé pour qu'en Cinderella, bon Dieu a préparé environnement pour vous-même.
I know it's every woman's dream to become the Cinderella one day.
Vous connaissez rêve toute fille pour qu'en Cinderella un jour.
But allow God to prepare the setting for you.
Mais permettre que bon Dieu prépare environnement pour vous.
Do not allow the secular means to prepare the setting. You got God to prepare the setting.
Pas permettre que ces moyens séculiers utilisés pour faire une première impression. Et c'est sûr que c'est bon Dieu préparer l'environnement pour nous.
When God prepares it, then you can use your secular means to enhance.
Le bon Dieu préparer l'environnement pour qu'à utiliser moyens séculiers pour qu'à ajouter dans ça que vous gagnez.
This reminds me of the text from Samuel.
Ça a rappelé nos textes dans Samuel.
He says, men look at what appears to their eyes,
Il dit, l'homme regarde à ce qui frappe les yeux,
but God looks at the heart.
mais l'Éternel regarde au cœur.
But the Bible did admit men look what comes to their eyes.
Mais la Bible admet que l'homme garde à ça qui frappe les yeux.
So again, we still have to work for the eyes because we're dealing with men.
Mais nous obligés de continuer à travailler avec les yeux et tout parce que nous travaillé avec les hommes.
But at the same time, we are dealing with God. God has to see our heart while we're trying to make sure human beings sees both.
Mais en même temps, nous avons servi bon Dieu, il faut essayer sûr que nous utiliser ça qui impressionne bon Dieu.
So there has to be a balance between the showing of the heart and the showing of the outer beauty.
Supposez qu'il y a une balance entre ça qui frappe les yeux avec beauté intérieure.
So again, this is where the tension was in the text here.
Donc, c'est exactement la tension qui est dans le texte là.
So again, this is our three main points that we covered today.
C'est trois points principaux que nous découvrons jeudi. Hein.
When God prepared the setting, it sometimes allows us to use the secular means to make the first impression.
Le bon Dieu préparer l'environnement, il y a des fois il quitte d'utiliser moyens séculiers pour nous faire une première impression.
When God prepares the setting, he will come with some special privileges.
Le bon Dieu préparer l'environnement, il y a des fois la vie avec des privilèges spéciaux.
When God prepares the setting, you can assure that the king will be pleased with you and will summon you by name.
Le bon Dieu préparer l'environnement ou mettre assuré que le roi a réellement satisfait avec vous. Il a demandé, il a prié pour pardon.
And I hope you enjoyed the time that we had together here.
Nous souhaitons que nous ayons un bon temps dans le temps que nous dépassons ensemble. Non?
Is there any special announcement, Maestro, for the church?
Yes, concert, Easter concert.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the Easter concert will be broadcast on Good Friday at 7 and Easter Sunday at 7.
Okay, so again, not tout cap suivre, concert Easter. You said Good Friday, vendredi Saint à 7h, et puis dimanche Pâques à 7h, right?
Yes, so
Okay.
please, get on Facebook or YouTube. It's going to be on both media.
Li pap nan go to meeting, right? C'est just now.
I doubt it. It might be very hard for them to.
Okay, so it's just going to be on Facebook, on YouTube, right?
I think so, yes.
Okay, is there any,
It's trying to broadcast it on GoToMeeting, but it's not guaranteed.
any other announcement that we're missing?
Not that I can think of, no.
Okay, all right, so we're good to go. We invite you to join us on Sunday morning, 11 o'clock for our worship service, and we're going to continue to serve God. I'm going to turn it back over to Sister Camille and Maestro Rene to close for us.
All right. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Thank you, Lord Heavenly Father, for allowing us to be here and to be engaged in this amazing study.
Merci Éternel de ce que nous avons le privilège pour nous la soir pour nous engager dans l'étude qui est vraiment intéressante ça.
We thank you that you've let all these people come and participate in this lesson and really engage with your word.
Nous remercions de ce que vous permettez que tout le monde soit participer et engagé dans la parole.
We again want to thank you for Pastor Jacob and Maestro Rene who are here week after week teaching us your word.
Encore une fois, nous remercions pour Pasteur Jacob et Maestro Rene qui là semaine après semaine pour enseigner nos paroles.
And we pray that you can continue to give both of them the strength to continue to do this important work.
Et nous demandons qu'ils continuent par la force pour faire travail ça.
We pray that you can allow all of us and even more to come next week so that we can continue to dive deep into the book of Esther.
Nous prions pour qu'elle permette nous entrer en plus grand nombre en semaine prochaine pour qu'on continue d'étudier la parole.
And I also pray that you can let us have another safe and healthy week, and that we can be able to join together again next Friday.
Permettre encore une fois que nous avons gagné beaucoup plus, une semaine qui est beaucoup plus intéressante toujours de façon pour nous rentrer semaine prochaine si Dieu veut.
In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Au nom de Jésus, nous prions. Amen.
Thank you,
Comme pour
everyone.
dire avec Pastor Jacob, next week is Good Friday.
Mm.
So the concert will be in lieu of the Bible study. Is that correct? We lost Pastor Jacob. Yeah, next Friday is Good Friday, so there may not be Bible study. They might be broadcasting the concert in lieu of the Bible study.
Okay.
I'm waiting for Pastor Jacob's presence for confirmation of this. In the meantime, Kami, very good discussion. Very good discussion.
It was a very good one.
Very passionate about the discussion.
As always. And thank you, everyone. We had a lot of involvement from everyone today too. So please continue to do that. That's what we need. And that's how this is how you can also get more from it.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Good job.
Pastor Jacob, next Friday is Good Friday.
Oh, next Friday is Good Friday. So we have no Bible study because the concert will be playing.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone.